Hello and welcome back to my Stitch Tube. I am Caitlin. This is Stitch Tube number 2. It's been about a week since I last posted. Today I've got a couple of whips, a couple of new starts, and yeah, I think I'm going to share a plan with you guys. I'm very excited to share what progress I have, so let's get started. So last week I did like a big whip parade where I shared the progress of everything that I have, just as sort of like a baseline. You see where I'm at in all of my projects. So if you're interested in seeing all of my projects, it's in my first video. But I have some new progress to share. So this week I worked on 2 of my whips, and then I started 2 new ones. It was a weird week for me. I don't usually start a whole lot of things in the same week. The first whip that I want to share is the progress that I've gotten done on Roar of a Ferocious Dragon. So you can see I did a significant amount of work going into the 3rd page because I was really excited to be able to start the dragon. So these yellow parts are its teeth. But I kind of struggled a little bit getting much further than this because this yellowish bottom section is basically all confetti. And I have a love-hate relationship with confetti work. Like, I can do it for a certain amount of time, but then I get really, really tired and bored. So then I moved up to the corner here where it's a little bit more of like fill-in work, like the last 2 pages. But, you know, I got a couple of 100 stitches done. It's not too bad. So this is Roar of a Ferocious Dragon from Sunrays Creations Needlearts. The fabric is 16 count, picture this plus in conifer. Yeah, not too terrible progress. Again, I'm excited to see more of the dragon. It's coming. I know it's coming. And I know with that comes a fuck ton of confetti stitches. I've resigned myself to this. But I want to see the dragon. I want the dragon. It's coming. It's coming. I know it is. And the other older whip that I worked on was from a pattern that I've drafted myself. This is my Hades project. And if you didn't watch the first video where I was sort of introducing this project, this is all of the characters from the video game Hades from Supergiant Games. It will have 24 characters in total. This is a big piece of fabric. And this is on fabric Vintage Stormy Clouds by Zweigart. And this month I worked on Cerberus. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. I love him so much. So adorable. So ferocious. But yeah, this month I worked on Cerberus. He's just like a sweet little hellhound puppy. This one came together fairly quickly because he doesn't have a whole lot of colors in him. Like, let's see. Ares had a lot of colors and Artemis had. Like, there are some characters that have a lot more colors to them. But Cerberus, he was pretty much all one color. He's just a red little puppy. And up next is going to be Chaos. Yeah, he's next. Again, all these characters, super fucking cute. I'm excited to see this come together. And in related news of this project, Supergiant Games announced the release date for Hades 2. It is going to be September 25th, which I'm really excited about. It's definitely going to cut into my stitching time. So expect slower results in the week or 2 following Hades 2 release. I played early access of Hades 2. I loved it. From what I can tell, the relationship system is going to be fairly similar. So my hope is that they will still do the chibis for maxing out like the relationships of all the characters. So that being said, I would love to do a part 2 for this project. I would love to draft a similar project for the second game, because the second game has some overlap characters, but for the most part, it is an entirely new cast of Greek gods and myths. And what characters are overlapped, they have a new design to them, because in this game, they're all fighting the Titan Kronos. So they all have like a war theme going on that they didn't have in the first game. My dilemma is, though, I don't know if I just stitch the new characters, all of this being contingent on the fact that they will still do like these little chibi rewards for the relationship building. So I don't know if I just do the new characters on the next design, or if I also include the overlap characters. And if I do include the overlap characters, it will probably be because the chibis reflect the new designs of the characters. So yeah, I'm very excited to play that game. I am very excited to draft another Hades project, hopefully, much in the same spirit of this one. Because I started this one this year and I've already gotten like 20% done. If I really wanted to push, I could probably finish it, but I am enjoying working on this project because the way that it stitches up, it feels like 25 different projects that I'm working on instead of like just this one big massive thing. So yeah, that's Hades. We got a puppy. Next will be Spooky Chaos, and then I think Charon is after that. Let me see what's in this row. So in the row that I am working on, I've got Cerberus, I've got Chaos, Charon, Demeter, and Dionysus. So this is a good row of characters. I mean, they're all good rows of characters. Yeah, I'm having fun with that project. I love that project. All right, moving on. I've got a couple of new starts that I started this week. I'm starting to break free from being a monogamous stitcher, if you can't tell. The first project that I have, I discovered that through my local library on Libby, which is the app that you can like borrow ebooks from your library. My library actually carries a bunch of digital cross-stitch magazines, which was a very dangerous discovery for me to make. Through my local library, I was able to get the Autumn 2025 edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I found this super adorable mushroom cross stitch. I mean, it doesn't really look like much now. I did get one mushroom done, and this mushroom is Fly Agaric. It is a poisonous mushroom, but it's kind of like when you imagine like a fantasy forest and like a floor of mushrooms, you think of this sort of mushroom. Like it's got this really beautiful red cap and like these little white like little nodules on them. They're a very cute mushroom. The design is by Gretchen Myers of Noctiflora Designs. And as I mentioned before, the pattern can be found in the Autumn 2025 edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine, which you may be able to find through your local library. So support your local library. It's wonderful. This fabric came from my thrifted stash that I got from my crafting thrift store. I actually really love this fabric because it feels really thick, but it's also like fairly soft. I would love to know where to get more of this fabric, but alas, this is the only cut that I have of it. I've been playing around a lot more with Markup RXP. Usually I'm a pattern keeper girly, but I wasn't able to get this pattern into Pattern Keeper because I was taking screenshots on my phone of the pattern from the magazine, and Pattern Keeper doesn't allow you to upload photos, but Markup XP will. So in this pattern, I am 27% complete. I have the start of the border. This will go all the way around, and then I've got a couple of more mushrooms that I need to fill in with. So it should only take me a couple more days worth of work to finish this. It's a very good like fall project yeah, I'm enjoying the fall vibes right now. The leaves are just starting to turn in my area, and so I'm getting more into like the Halloween-y type stitches. All right, the last start that I have is the start of a very big project. My friend found this A Court of Thorns and Roses cross stitch. Very beautiful, grayscale. At first I was like, I don't want to do a grayscale. That sounds so boring. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait, there's a large chunk of white in that pattern. It would look absolutely gorgeous if I took out the white parts of that pattern and got like a really cool like starry effect fabric. So I went on this wild hunt to try and find like a starry night fabric. And what I eventually landed on was getting a printed fabric of like sort of like cosmos sort of thing. And it finally came in yesterday. I did about 1,500 stitches on the first day of working on this project. And look at it! Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. So yeah, with this project, I'm really embracing the negative spaces. So like above their heads is gonna be like keeping with, it's gonna show this fabric, and I might even in the dress, the places where it calls for white, I might leave it so that this fabric shows through. Because if you haven't read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, there's this event called Starfall. But basically, like, a bunch of shooting stars happen, and it's this pretty well predictive event. And so, like, there's this whole celebration behind it, where people go and watch the stars. Yeah, and the main couple in this book, they have a cute little moment on the balcony during Starfall. So yeah, the reason I did 1,500 stitches yesterday is because the center of the piece is actually like somewhere around here, thereabouts. And I was really determined to get to Feyre's face up in there, just so that I could see that the positioning was right for the sky. I was gonna be really bummed if it wasn't. So yeah, I really pushed through and got a lot done. And this is all a single day. This is all a single day's worth of stitching. Absolutely wild. I don't think I've ever stitched that much. All right, a couple bit of details about this project. The pattern is by MasonArtMaison on Etsy. It's actually a really beautiful pattern. It only has 10 colors, if you can believe it. So like all of that shading is just 10 colors. And I did make a change to this pattern already. One of the colors I think was, oh gosh, it was 03, DMC 03, which I thought was just too reddish brown and it didn't really fit the grayscale in my opinion. So I ended up switching it for 3371, which I know is not exactly the same color, but I felt like it blended more. It blended better with the rest of it, especially up in like the archway section. And I can show like side-by-side picture of what the original is supposed to look like and what my pattern keeper preview looks like. And then the fabric, this beautiful, gorgeous, starry cosmos fabric is Creationist blue from Fabric Flair. And one thing, do not judge my back. It is a printed fabric, so on the other side it's just white. But yeah, I think this project is absolutely gorgeous. I love where I'm going with this, and I'm very excited to continue working on this. I think I'm a big audiobook reader. So in starting this, I've kind of got the urge to reread the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So I think through my local library, I am going to check out the graphic audio versions of these audiobooks. If you've never tried any books from the company Graphic Audio, they make these really cool audiobooks where they have different cast members play each of the characters in an audiobook. And so it's this full cast of characters. They have sound effects and music. It's a really good production for an audiobook. And so I really enjoy reading the graphic audiobooks. So I think I'm gonna do a little reread while I'm working on this Starfall project. I think that's where I'm at, yeah. And while I'm in the SJM mood, let's talk plants. Okay, so I try not to go super heavy on buying Etsy patterns that I have no intention to stitch. I guess what I mean by that is I don't really like having a deep catalog of projects that I'm not working on. I don't love to have a bunch of patterns just waiting in the wings. But in this case, these are patterns that I have been looking at for a while, and they happen to go on sale. And so I bought. So the pattern is by WovenWildCrafts. They have this set of 3 like window I guess it's sort of stained glass. It's like I'll pull up all of them, but there are these windows that represent each of the 3 main book series by Sarah J. Maas. And so there's a Crescent City window, there's a Court of Thorns and Roses window, and there's a Throne of Glass window. When I was staring at these patterns on my wish list, I decided that my favorite design, even though it's not my favorite book series, is the Crescent City one. So when it went on like a 50% off sale, I was like, okay, I know it's a big project. I know it's not exactly, I'm not in a place right now where I want to start it immediately because I have a couple of big projects already in the works. But while it's on sale, I am gonna snap it up. So I bought the Crescent City window. When it's all said and done, it's going to be 140,000 stitches. It's a big boy, it's a big project. I don't have a cut of fabric yet for it that's big enough, I don't think. Because I think the finished stitch is something like 16 inches by like 24 inches. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I think it was from the top of my head. So yeah, I need to order some fabric for it. I'll probably wait for a sale or something before I get it, because I'm not in any rush to start this. But my God, is it a gorgeous project. One problem that I am having with it already that I foresee is that I was not able to get it into Pattern Keeper, which is a bit annoying. Again, because I'm a Pattern Keeper girly. That's my preferred app. But I have been playing around with Markup XP a little bit more to get a little more familiar with it, because sometimes some things won't load into Pattern Keeper, but they will load into Markup XP. So I was able to sort of get it to load into Markup RXP, but there's still some like issues and glitches with it. So I don't know if this is gonna have to be like a paper and highlighter sort of project, which will slow it down significantly for me, or if I can get it to like a workable state in Markup RXP. I don't know, I'm gonna have to play with it a bit more. But with this project, I think I might actually want to try using pre-gridded fabric. That's not something that I've ever like dabbled with before. I don't do a whole lot of full coverage pieces. I think I want to dabble in some pre-gridded fabric. And if there was ever a good contender to to give me some help with it, I think this would be it. Again, No idea when I'm gonna start it. But it is in like the back of my mind. If I ever see some like pre-gridded Zweigart or something on sale, then I'll snap up something big enough to start this project. What else did I do this week? Oh, let's talk about Holla. All right, I did actually buy one more pattern this week, but this is something that I'm actually planning on starting in the coming week. This is a pattern called Turtle by MadMollieCrossStitch Patterns. And it's actually not a turtle, it is a tortoise. And I got this because my friend, she runs a turtle rescue, and she has this grumpy sulcata tortoise that lives in her garden at the moment. That was a pet surrender to her. And so for Christmas this year, I want to stitch her a little version of her grumpy little guy. His name is Holla. He was named that because he's just a little bit lumpy. His shell's a little deformed. Not from anything that she did. Again, he's a pet surrender. He's just a sweet little guy. He hates the world. I love him. And for this project, in her pattern, he has this turtle smiling. I want to turn that little smile into a frown just because he's a grumpy old man. He's actually not that old as far as sulcata tortoises go. But he's a grump, so his cross-stitch version should also be a grump. So yeah, I'm excited to start that. I think she's really gonna love that. But yeah, this time of year I'm really getting my ducks in a row, and I'm doing a lot of like Christmas stitches, even though it's September, but I have a lot of people that I want to give things to. So I had to start super early to make sure that I got all of the Christmas stitches done. And by Christmas stitches, I think none of them actually have any like Christmas motifs in it, because I'm not super into, like, I wanted to give them something that they could like display year round if they wanted to, and it's not just a seasonal thing. So that's a lot of what I'm doing at the moment is these stitches that are going to be gifted in December. But yeah, that's going to be Holla. He's going to be so cute. I'm excited to start him. I don't know what I'm going to stitch him on yet. I might pull from my thrifted stash again. Yeah, I have a couple of offcuts and stuff and fabric that I've thrifted that I can use, I think. I don't know. I'll look into it. But I think my main priorities this week are going to be finishing Fly Agaric, because it was kind of a spur of the moment start. Like I found the pattern in the Cross Stitch magazine, and I was like, oh, I need to stitch that now or I'll forget about it. So that was kind of an impulsive start on my part. So I'm gonna work on finishing that. I'm gonna start Holla. I want to get more done on my temperature tracker because I still have not worked on it this month, and it's still sitting in like the June area. So I want to get some stitching done on that. But knowing me, my thoughts are going to be with this project. So who knows? All of those plans may go out the window, and I just might end up stitching on this. I don't know. And then September 25th will happen, and Hades 2 will be out, and my priorities will change. So I'm going to try to get a lot of stitching done this week in preparation for that. But yeah, support your local libraries. They're fun. Sometimes they have cross-stitch magazines. They also have really cool audiobooks. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I don't have a schedule for when I post videos. I just kind of do it whenever I feel like I have enough progress done. And let me know down in the comments what you guys are into stitching at the moment. Like, I know fall is deep into swing, so are you like focused on like fall projects, or are you like a season ahead into like December and winter time and Christmas? I'm really curious about that. Or do you just stitch whatever you want? Either way, I kind of want to know. I'm curious. So yeah, that'll about do it for Flosstube number 2. Thank you all for being here. I've got some weird energy today, but I'm kind of into it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. One day I will get better. One day I won't have to edit.